Hello everyone and welcome to another success story video. Today we have Nadia and she's going to share her IELTS success with all of you guys so that you can learn from her and be successful yourself. So Nadia, can we start off by just introduce yourself to everyone?
Sure. Hello, everyone. I found this information about this course just a week before my first attempt, so there were no time for me to do anything. But as soon as I felt my goal, and this was in the writing section of the test, the others were pretty much good, but the writing score was low. It was 6. So I knew I need to join the academy. I enjoyed it. I followed the instructions strictly. So mostly it was, my struggle was not to find how to answer the question or not many issues in the vocabulary, grammar, something like that, but mostly the structure, and just to keep it simple, because I was trying to find the best idea to impress the person who will read my essay. This was the problem. I was trying to impress with an idea, while it's not the case. They just check your ability to communicate anything in English, as Chris says in the course. So I just stick to this idea. Keep it simple, simple structure, the first idea that came to your mind, and not the idea that you do believe, but the idea that you can support, that you have enough language, enough vocabulary, enough reasons to support. This
Excellent.
was mostly.
And that helped you go from a band 6 in writing to a band 7 in just 6 weeks, was it?
Yes,
Yeah.
6 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because most people who we work with, they have the ability to get the score that they need already, but they believe some things that are just not correct, and that mindset, that attitude causes them to get a low score, not because
Exactly.
their English is bad or their writing is bad per se, but there's so much confusing information out there, and an example here is, use really complex and impressive ideas, and that will impress the examiner. It's not an ideas test. It's an English test. It's a writing test, and that's what they're
Yes.
testing. And if you focus on the purpose of the test, which is to clearly communicate in English, then you're going to do much better. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree totally. And something else, when considering with whom to get your preparation, when considering which teacher will be best for you, it's really important to talk with somebody, to choose someone who is professional in IELTS, because I had some friends who teach English. They are native speakers, but they have no idea about IELTS. They are English teachers, so they checked my essays before the first attempt, and they said, oh, it's really impressive, it's great, it's good, you'll surely get the band you need. But it was not the case, because they looked at my essays like an article for somebody just to catch the interest of somebody to write about impressive ideas using impressive language and so on. But it's not the case with the IELTS. You need to know what exactly the examiner is looking for. This is the point. So you need to give them exactly what they are looking for. Otherwise, it may be impressive, you can use a great idea, but if it is not conveyed in the way they are looking for, it will not get the mark that you need.
Yeah. It's like a lot of people email us and they say, can you help us with TOEFL or OET or PTE? And we always say, no, we're not experts in that area. We know nothing. If I was to look at your essay for one of those, I would give you terrible advice. So going with someone who just focuses on IELTS is a
Yes.
really good idea. Sometimes people will email me and say, can you help me with my dissertation or my creative writing? And I'm like, no, I know nothing about that. I'm an English teacher, but that doesn't qualify me to give advice on those specialisms. So that
I can also, yeah,
advice.
I can also add that about 10 years ago, I also got proficiency Cambridge proficiency. So it was totally different. The essay structure, the things they are looking for, it was totally different, and the essay was totally different. So it was structured in another way. I thought that it would be the same for IELTS, but it's not. So just save your time and choose one that is professional in IELTS and in IELTS only.
Yeah, so I'd like to go back to a few of the things that you talked about, because it'll definitely interest people who, like you, maybe stuck at a 6 or 6.5 and they need a 7. So you mentioned structure, you mentioned keeping it simple, you mentioned ideas, and you mentioned supporting your ideas. So let's talk about those in a little bit more detail. Um, how did a structure help you, or how important is a structure to help you with writing?
I think this was the most important thing for me, because I could write something, but I would struggle to write it in a clear way. So I will jump from one idea to another idea and go back and forth. So uh, when I understood that it is really important to have specific structure, it was easier for me to write, and I knew that it will be easier for the examiner to understand what I'm trying to say. And another one point, that you do not have time at all. You need to have a ready structure. So it was really important, because you have so strict time frame that you need to write right away. You need to have ready structure. Don't to lose your time to spend your time on thinking on the structure. These need to be ready for you, so that you just put your ideas there,
Mhm.
adapt it for the essay type, and start writing.
Yeah, I think one misunderstanding about structures is that there's one structure that you use that will magically improve your writing, and I don't agree with that. What it really does is it just helps you order your thinking and organize your thinking, so that you can do your thinking in the planning stage, and then when you start writing, it gives you a map to use. Because if you don't have a structure, you can start writing and you get you get a little bit disorganized, and then
Yeah, exactly.
you can get lost, and then you run out of time and you start to panic. Whereas if you have all of your ideas planned out already, then that helps you focus in the
Yeah, exactly. This was the way that it helped me, because I had enough time to finish my essay. I was not lost. I didn't need to go to the beginning and read and understand that I'm out of the topic. So I need to erase and replace themes. And another one important information was to have enough time to proofread at the end. This
Mhm.
was the problem, because I was always out of time. I didn't have time to proofread, and you can't imagine how many small mistakes you can find
And they
and
all
erase.
add up. Mm.
Exactly, and was the problem. I think during my first attempt, I had no time to proofread at all.
Mhm.
So I think this was also the major problem, because to get 6, this means that vocabulary and grammar surely are below. I don't think that task achievement and coherence. Okay, task achievement was bad, because it was okay, but I think that the biggest problem was proofreading for just small slips in orthography, so
Mhm.
not correct writing of the words, and small grammar mistakes, which in my case were mostly articles.
Because you're from UK.
Russian speaking, yeah.
Russian, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. That's it. And, you know, and for Russian speakers, it's articles. For other languages, it's punctuation, because they don't use the same punctuation. For other
Exactly.
languages, it's prepositions or tenses. Some languages are similar to English. The tenses are similar. Other languages are completely different, because they don't use tenses in the same way. So anybody watching, you probably are not terrible at grammar overall. You probably just have one or two areas of grammar that you need to work on. But once you're aware of what those are, you can, before the exam, work on those. But when you're checking, check if it's articles, check your articles, check before each noun and what is going on. And that really does help. And also, to go back to structure and planning, that gives you the time to check at the end, because it saves you so much time during the writing stage that you have 5 minutes at the end to check everything. So that's
Yeah,
great
exactly.
advice as well.
I stick to the structure, and I had, I think, 7 or 8 minutes for the proofread.
Wow.
So it was totally unusual for me, because usually I run out of time, but
Yeah.
I
I mean,
just speed up during the exam.
yeah, I think a lot of people with time, they look for time management tips or tricks, and really there's no tips or tricks. It's just, if you know what you're doing and you have a system and you know exactly what's going on, you're going to get through everything. Whereas if you've no idea what's going on and you're just writing and getting lost, then that's where you run out of time, I think. But we try and teach it people, okay, do this, then do this, then do this, then do this, and it just speeds you up, because you become a better writer, and the
Yeah,
process is more efficient. And you also talked about something that you've probably heard me say hundreds of times: keep it simple. What would
yeah.
you say to people who think that the secret is to use more complex grammar and complex vocabulary and complex ideas, and impress the examiner by showing off how amazing your writing is? What would you say to them?
I would say that don't be afraid to use the rule, keep it simple, and to use the rule 100%,
Yeah.
because you can try, improve, and use impressive words or impressive structure, grammatical structures during your preparation and your practice. You need to practice a lot to achieve better results. But when on test, keep it safe.
Yeah.
Keep it safe, because you will it is normal to be more stressed out when you're under test conditions, so you don't want to lose marks for not writing correct a word, or not using the correct collocation, or not using the correct structure. So don't be afraid to keep it simple. My essay was way too simple for me. I was afraid that it's not good enough. So I was not really, actually, before getting my results, I was following lessons, and I was preparing for the next one. It was for me. I thought, I knew I need to keep it simple, and I followed this rule, but I was not sure, and it was correct. So
It's about
don't be afraid to
having
use it.
the courage to do it.
Yes.
Like, one of the things that we find most difficult with our VIP students is giving them the courage to keep things simple, and to follow the 100% rule, which is only use language you're 100% sure about, because it goes against everything that they think about exams and about English and about that, they heard on the internet, which is, to get a high score, use complicated, complex things and show off your grammar and your vocabulary and your ideas. And we say the opposite. And often we've had a few students who, they are capable of that and they've gone through the course, but on test day they go, no, let's make it complicated again, and then they fail the test, and we're like, next time, please, 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 just try it our way. And then they try it our way and they get the score that they need.
Yeah, exactly. I had these thoughts also during my exam. Maybe to use this word, it is better, it is fancier, but no, I just stick to the rule 100% to be sure,
Yeah.
and it proved to be really correct.
Excellent, excellent. So if people just follow that advice, they'll really improve their writing. So thank you so much, Nadia. Is there any last minute advice that you would give people if they were struggling with their writing?
um, no, mostly this one. Just be brave enough to use these your advices. Be brave enough to just keep it simple.
Mm-hmm. Good, good. Excellent, excellent advice. I don't want to keep you away from your little boy for much longer. I know what it's like to have a two-year-old in the house. They're not the most reasonable human beings in the world, and so I'll let you go back to him. But thank
Great.
you so much, Nadia, and good luck in your future career and your future country that you're moving to and everything. And if you need
Thank you
anything
so
in the
much.
future, just get in touch with us.
I know that I will get all the support I need. It was really, you were really supportive, and all the support that I got from you and your team, it was amazing. It helped me a lot.
Thank you so much, Nadia. All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Chris here again. Hopefully you enjoyed that success story video. That student was part of our IELTS VIP course. And on that course, we show students exactly where they're going wrong and exactly what to do to get the score that they need. And we give them all the help and support that they need in order to get a 7, 8, or even 9 in their IELTS test. Now, we only work with a really small number of students. Because of the level of help and feedback and support that we give students, we can only work with a very small number of them. But we also have more success stories than any other online or offline course in the world, which has created a huge amount of demand for our course. So we're the only course in the world, I believe, that has a very long waiting list. If you want to join that waiting list, all you have to do is just click here and you'll be able to add your name, add your email address, and then when one of our students becomes successful and leaves the course, the next position can be for you. Hopefully see you in there. Bye-bye.